just start talking here. Starting video transmission. Don't transmit me.
Okay, and then I'll post.
All right, and then I gotta remember how to do this part. It's down here now, isn't it? Nope. Nope. There. Plus. IGTV, I think, and then live. No. What the fuck? Plus. Is it a story? There it is. Jesus Christ. Could they make that any harder to find? All right. And I do something on here, right?
Yeah, you just swap to just webcam.
Hey, just webcam. What's up, y'all? We're like doubling.
We're double dipping.
We're double dipping. We got Instagram over here. Hello. We got YouTube over here. Hello. It's so fun. Cheers to another Whiskey Friday. Thank you, Eric. My technical assistance millennial has assisted me once again, so I would not be able to do this otherwise. So, hello, Porsche Germany. What's going on? So, we'll go ahead and give everybody a few minutes to get in here. We got 12, 13, 14 of you. What's going on, Mike? On Instagram, hence the reason we wanted to bring y'all back. And 2, 3, or 4 of you on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. How was everyone's week? Week was good, hopefully. Hey, Hypertrash. Yo, what's up? Is that Reese? I think Reese has the reins of Hypertrash lately. Hello, Michael. I believe your goodies got shipped to you today, I believe. I'll have to check on that, but they should have. What's up, Nathan? So today is a special day. I went and got myself a little special treat down the way at the hamburger. Got the headers today, install next week. So awesome. That's killer. Excited for you. My 997.1 GT3 RS has been in a constant state of disassembly since we started Dundon Motorsports. I drove it again today. Pumpkin rides again. So exciting. So, not, quote, done, but it's mobile. So that's super cool. Transmission has been re-geared. It's got our prototype intake runners on it. It's got cup power steering that we need to figure out why sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But this is 5 years of this car just kind of sitting there waiting for us. It's got Ecstasy, Exatec, whatever you want to call it, rally suspension on it that needs to be tuned because it was installed and never really driven. But super, super duper exciting to have that car back on the road, get to tweaking it and tuning it and driving it and enjoying it again. So I'm super, super happy that that's the case. So, what else we got going on? We made some decisions about some new products. We've got, the 991.1 Carrera guys should be very happy. We are finishing up the headers, the catted rear section, and the uncatted rear section to go along with the intake runners for that car, which we suspect will give it probably around what the 981 GT4 did, probably 50, 60 wheel horsepower gains in total for all of it. So that's exciting. What else? What else is going on? Had a great discussion with a new dealer yesterday, somebody who isn't on social media a whole lot, Casey Dennis from Raceworks down in the Los Angeles area. He's been helping us silently in the background with some motion control suspension testing. They're knocking on the door of the track record, and they're doing it on less sticky tires. So the next time that they're out there, watch out. Hopefully that'll happen here relatively soon. We're also looking at getting them a full aero package so that they can obliterate the track record, which at the end of the day is kind of what makes it fun. Let's go kill some stuff. Not literally, but go kill some records. Don't kill stuff. That's bad. What's going on, Martin? Another exciting thing going on today. AR Motorsports has picked up another long-term project of mine, my E30 M3, which I've mentioned from time to time. It is getting put in a trailer as we speak, if it's not already in the trailer, and on its way back to Portland, so that the BMW magicians down at AR can work their magic and get this freaking thing on the road and driving, which would be really fantastic. Then I have a problem to solve because I only have one extra spot in my garage, and now the Pumpkin's driving, and probably here in the next month, 2 months, the E30 M3 will be driving, and Anthony is getting closer and closer on the RX-7, and from what I hear, we may have a special guest tuner up to tune it, which would be really freaking cool because, you know, every internal combustion tuner is just deathly afraid of a rotary engine. So better to have a rotary expert come up and do it. So I may have to decide which car stays and which car goes here pretty soon, which is a good problem to have. I'm not complaining at all in that regard. But they're all three very special cars. I can tell you one that isn't leaving, and that's the 997. That one was my very first Porsche ever, and I will keep that car forever. I will not, and you can mark my words. Instagram, you can mark it. YouTube, I'm keeping it. It's going to stay forever. The Lab Rat will go long before the Pumpkin does. RX-7 or E30 M3 is an interesting discussion. What do you guys think? Which one would you keep? To put some context in it, the FD RX-7 has 28,000 miles, 34,000 miles, something like that. It's really low. It has a Borg-Warner EFR single turbo conversion. We're going to run it on a Motec ECU, but it's mainly a street car. There is no special account for the RX project, unfortunately. Maybe we should make one because then Anthony can put updates on it once it's moving. The E30 M3 is a little bit more racy, but that is an S62 swap from a 2003 BMW M5. So it is BMW's, what is it? I think it's 4.9 liters, 4.8 liters, almost 5 liter, not quite. Charles would know this, even though I used to know this engine intimately. I don't remember. Got some people in LA who would be into it. Awesome. That'd be fun. God bless that RX-7. I think so too. The E30 M3 is going to be special. It's got repainted. It's an Evo 2 setup, Evo 2 wing, big V8 in the front, 6-speed manual. What's really curious about that is when you weigh the S14 that came out of that E30 M3 and you weigh the S62 that comes out of the M5, since the S62 is an all-aluminum block and the S14 is cast iron, they weigh about the same. So it's not a huge weight penalty, and we're able to get quite a bit more grunt out of that car. What's going on, Jesse? I see Pacific Northwest GT2 RS joined us. And P-Car Talk is here. Hello, gentlemen. So it's going to be a tough call. You know, boosted rotary brap versus some straight up heritage winningest GT car ever in the M3 with a big nasty V8 in it. So that'll be fun. It'll be fun to maybe we'll let the Instagrams decide which ones get sold. I know my friend Bong Encarnacion wants to get his hands on this RX-7 to sell in his new venture. Which watch out for him. They have something fun coming. A JDM only kind of version of Bring a Trailer. So, hey, what's up, Charles? Glad you're digging that crack pipe. Hello, everybody. Thank you. Drinking my Christmas present from Ted, who will probably remind me what it was because I can't remember the name of this whiskey, which I'm not remembering a lot today, but that's okay. How's everyone's week? Gave you guys a little bit of an update about what's going on around here. Let me hear what's going on in your world. Alif Hamdan, email sent. I saw it. I think Ted was going to reply. If not, I will look at it over the weekend, and we will get back to you, my friend. So, trying to roll backwards, see who is here. Track Experience is here. T1 Motorsports, welcome everybody. Trying to shout out those who I know. Will GT3RS, hello, sir. (0624), what's going on, John? All right, we'll scroll up here. Let's see how everybody's week is doing. I do remember you, Farson. How are you? Let's see, anybody? All right, let me think. What else? Oh, we tested, we finally got the 996 GT3 intake runners in. So that's part of our whole intake manifold package for the 996 and 997 GT3s. Initial results are fantastic. We're pretty happy with it. It's up over 50 wheel horsepower at 7,000 RPM. We just need to make a few modifications to push the peak a little bit closer to redline, and then those parts should be ready to go. We had a bit of a scare on the supply chain side. We thought we were going to have to get a different throttle body for all of those projects, but we were able to secure some, and we were able to get into a custom-made throttle body that's modeled off of an OEM throttle body, but it is made all from easily sourceable parts, we'll say that, so that we can never run out of supply, which is important when you're a tiny, small business. Having suppliers to actually sell you things when you need them is a nice thing to have. What's going on, Chalk GT4? Nice of you to join. We are getting most of the 718 GT4 street headers shipped. I think we're only down to 2 or 3 left, including Mr. Matt Mormons, if he's listening incognito. I'll come back to that, Conrad. It's kind of a multifaceted question, but I'll come back to it. The initial reports from customers are very happy. Couple of you guys with 718 GT4s, do not forget that the car has cylinder deactivation, and it will make a mighty farting noise when you're going down the highway when it goes into cylinder deactivation, especially once you've gotten an exhaust on it and you can hear it better. So just remember that. We did have a customer asking me, what is that farting noise, after he put on the our street header system. So I thought that was pretty funny, because it does sound like the car's going burp, and you're just kind of burping or making some other guttural noise. Let's see. Question was, Do you think the 991.1 GT3 will drop significantly in price when the 992 GT3 launches? No, I don't. I think it's pretty much bottomed out for where it's going to be for a little while. I think it is likely to bottom out or drop more when the 10-year engine warranty runs out. I think that's more likely to happen because you won't have the ability to drive it with impunity and just have Porsche pick up the engine when it eventually pops. So, and they will pop. Let's see. Who else? Rev limiters suck. Okay. I tend to agree until your engine pops. But there you go. The other question that was asked was, do I have a Nissan Skyline? No, I do not. I will look to purchase one when the R34 is legal in this country. But I don't expect that to be for a little while yet. So let me share a picture because it's easy for me with those of you on Instagram that I just took today. Those are my two babies. The 997 pumpkin in the foreground, the lab rat in the background. And I can't wait to finish up getting the 997 sorted. Let my man Ted go take it out on the racetrack and do it something special, get them all dialed in, and then I can learn how to drive again because it's been a while since I haven't been driving a spaceship, a.k.a. a 991.2 GT3 RS with a PDK and does everything for me, makes me look like a rock star. I'll have to be slow again, work my way around in my fancy pumpkin. Now, this pumpkin is a little bit special. It has a Grand Am front splitter, so she's gotta be a little careful driving her around town. Big Grand Am rear wing on it, RSR rear wing, I think it is technically. 4.0 RS airbox that we've come up with, the 4.0 RS deck lid with the larger air intakes in it. We stripped the interior. It's got a CAE shifter in it. Manthe carbon door panels, removable 718 GT4 steering wheel. Pretty much set up for track use. This is what this car, in my opinion, should be used for. Custom Bbs Monoblocks that myself and Ty Tolentino back in the day, back 6-7 years ago at this point, I think, commissioned with BBS to make for this car. They still make the BBS monoblocks in center lock, and now they make them in 5 lug. And so we were lucky enough to get their attention to build them and sell a fair number of them. They're pretty rare, but little hard to see in this picture what they look like, but they look fantastic. Whole front clip of this car is cup. They are cup front fenders, so they are wider than stock. We have smoothed the transition because typically cup fenders look like they have a step lip. So I'm not a fan of that look. So we smoothed it out. I'll get you guys some more pictures up close and whatnot. I think I'm going to add a little bit more carpeting back in to the interior. We got the Car Graphic lightweight carpet kit, but it just kind of is held in there by voodoo magic. There isn't really anything to stick it down with, so you either got to glue it down, which I'm not a big fan of, or you have to rivet it, which also not a big fan of. So we'll get some stuff figured out as far as that goes, what we want to do with that. Let's see, what else? I always forget how to do this. Go backwards. Go. Oh, somebody asked us a question. Why doesn't Dundon make an Inconel version of the GT3 RS headers? Well, Inconel is a wonderful material. And one of the reasons that we don't make, let me say this differently, we can make Inconel versions of the headers. 321 is more appropriate for a street car. And the reason it's more appropriate for a street car is it can take a beating. And Inconel is actually heavier. It's denser at the same I'm trying to get this to work again. So you guys can just see me. Yeah, can't figure it out. That's okay. You guys can keep looking at this pretty picture. Maybe Eric will come back out here and help me because I'm kind of fumbling around again. Figured out how to do this one time and I can't figure it out again. There we go. Of course you have to hit picture and then no picture for it to actually get back to just you. Some of these things, they need to have not a millennial program them. You need to have somebody old do this. But then it wouldn't get done. So there you go. So Inconel is great. Thin Inconel is fragile. It can't take a beating. It can't take a rock hitting it really hard. It will dent. It also will, the collector slip fits between the collector and the tube. I got it. Thanks, Eric. Will slowly abrade and they will time out. And that can take a short period of time if you're tracking the car a lot. If it's a long period of time, or it can happen over a long period of time if you're just driving the car around town. So we choose to use a material that has the best of both worlds. And that's 321 stainless. So we do have some Inconel parts. They are specifically to race cars, and we can build our headers in Inconel. We are making a special set at the request of the customer for our street headers for the 997. We'll see that car here probably mid-February, I would expect. And we can make them for race headers for our cup cars. We've already made a few sets. We just don't advertise them. So if you are interested, please let me know. Porsche Sport Media is preparing for the Daytona 24. It's so nice that is happening again this year. We'll be watching and rooting on. Let's see who else we got in here. Anybody else? I missed that one back there. I'll start with another one from Conrad. Would you buy a 997 GT3 over a 991.1 GT3? Depends on how I was going to use the car. Both of them have their warts. Every car does. Metzger parts are getting more and more difficult to source. If it's going to be a street car that you're going to use forever. The 997 is probably a better choice. If it's going to be a track car that you're going to use for a few years and trade in, then 991.1 GT3 is really fast. It is a fast and fun car. I've owned that car. Different experiences in the car. 991.1 GT3 is PDK only. 997 GT3 is a manual. So horses for courses. I'd say have one of each if you can, but that's typically not an option. Razvinoman, or Razvin Oman is probably more like it. Is there going to be an OAP and exhaust section made by Dundon for the 718 GT4? We already make it. We haven't really pushed it because for the car to get the over-axle pipe that's just an OPF delete is, in my opinion, kind of a waste of money. It doesn't change the sound of the car enough to warrant buying it. There's no performance benefit, so that's why we've done our street header system that is inclusive of an over-axle pipe to the stock muffler. And then the next section that we're working on is both the crack pretzel that replaces the stock muffler and eventually a complete stock muffler replacement that quiets the car down a little bit because she is a bit noisy. So that's the plan with the 718. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Ted or myself. Happy to help with that. Keep the questions coming, my friends. Depends on where you're at. Technically, if you were to put anything on the exhaust, you would lose your warranty. You don't lose warranty just because they're headers. If you were to replace the over-axle pipe in an area that didn't want you to modify the car, then they might tell you you're going to lose your warranty. If you're in the United States, you won't lose any of your warranties. And even then, depending on where you're at in the world, if you had an issue that needed warranty coverage, you could always get the parts off of the car and take them in. Will I make sound limit at PIR? I think so, Michael. I think so. But we have not run, there are not a lot of 718s running. Ask Phil, honestly. I think he may have run there already. He was the first one to get his installed and ready to rock. So Martin or Phil may know better than me. We have some tricks up our sleeve to help with that, but I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. But again, don't know. Mostly street, a few track days as my schedule allows. Conrad, I'd look for a 997.2 GT3. They're kind of in the sweet spot. Lots of power. We've got an incredible power package coming out for them. Raises the car over 65 wheel horsepower, which brings it to almost 991.2 GT3 manual touring level power in a 997 shell, which is pretty exciting, especially as sought after as the manual 991.2 GT3s are. You should probably be able to find a 997.2 GT3 that's a driver, not a collector. 75, 80, so still a little cheaper than a 991.1 GT3. And then even with our power package added on top of that and the necessary maintenance, you're still less than what a 991.1 GT3 would be. So something to think about. Razvan Oman, shoot me a message if you are in Oman. I know who to hook you up with. If I am butchering your name horribly and you have nothing to do with that, with the Switzerland of the Middle East, then I would just shoot us an email or a PM here on Instagram, and we can help get you sorted. What whiskey am I drinking? That's a good question. Bib and Tucker, I think is what it's called. It's not one that I have. It's one that was given to me at our Christmas party, and has stayed here. So I think that's what it's called. My friend Ted would know better because he gave it to me, and it is by no means a diss that I do not remember. It is more that my brain is full of other seemingly useless information that pushes all the useful information out some days. So, would you prefer the manual versus the PDK for street driving? Manual for street driving all the time. Absolutely. It's more engaging, way more fun. You can actually get out of your head and drive. PDK gives you, I would say, too many options to hold a coffee or hold your phone or daydream about other things. And honestly, PDK is more suited for track work, in my opinion. To me, it makes driving on track a little bit more fun, a little bit easier. You can concentrate on concentrate on the line, braking points, all the other things, rather than having to shift. On the street, you're not really so worried about all the lines and the braking points and all this stuff. You're more interested in the drive, right? Going and getting your head clear by enjoying all the sounds your car makes and shifting and downshifting and heel and towing into the next corner. That's honestly why I've missed my 997 so much, because I haven't had a manual car. Of course, 718 GT4 that we've had as a manual, I don't really consider that my car. That's a development car. So little hand wavy stuff. Hello, Kevin. You've been saying hello, hello, hello. See, somebody else had a question. No. All right. Let's see. What other fun pictures do I have here? Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I'll share this with you. This is pretty fun. This is probably going to be loud, so turn your volume down. I'll share this. This was the shop in China that put a set of race headers and a crack pipe on. Notice the guys in the back. Car started, and they all freaked out, which is hilarious. You guys can see that in our Instagram from today. See, what other fun things do I have on here? Oh, you know what? I'm going to share this with you. This is just a little bit of tape. This has nothing to do with Dundon Motorsports, but this is my kitty cat. One of my kitty cats. I'll leave Bubba up there for a minute. Oh, here's a good question. I posed this the other day. 993 RS or 964 RSR, and why? This is something that I've been fighting with. If this was your forever Porsche, which one would you pick? Alif, let me ask your question. 997 4.0 versus 991.2 4.0, which has better gains on your package? Good question. 997 4.0, we've got a little bit of testing. I think we're up 30, 40 wheel horsepower over 997 4.0 RS. 991.2 RS, it's a more powerful engine. It has more specific horsepower or horsepower per liter. So freeing up pressure losses in it and really refining the wave strength gets you a little bit more. And it all comes down to where we're talking about. Are we talking about peak versus peak? Are we talking about more area under the curve? Are we talking about more torque down low? It's all very specific at that point. So best that we have a little bit more private conversation about that. But in general, both will benefit. The packages are a little different. And I'd be a little surprised 997 4.0 owner wanting to modify the car. So exhaust, sure. The rest of it, maybe. So just because that's such a collectible car. All right. So what do you think, Instagram family and YouTube family? Are we going to do a 964 RSR 3.8 or 3.8 RS, depending on what you want to call it? There's a yellow one. Here's the rear quarter. Or 993. This is 911 964 993's car. Just a brilliant freaking car. I think this is the Cup version of the same car. We have a little something up our sleeve is why I'm asking people. So yes, I agree. The launch control on the 991 GT3 is kind of fun, but that's definitely a PDK thing. So let's see, any other fun pictures I got hanging out here in my phone. This one's good. This was from our track day almost a week ago, last Saturday. This is the 981 GT4 development car owned by my good friend Pat. He was my business partner here for a little while. At the beginning of 2020, we came to a deal where I bought him out. So now I'm the lone soldier over here. He's got grandkids. He wanted to make sure that he had time for his grandkids, and it's worked out great. He's still a strong supporter of ours. Love this shot by Kirk Meyer, our track photography creative savant up here. Really looks great in black and white. Lots of motion in it. This car has the Veris full aero package. It has the MCS three-way dampers, AP racing brakes, all the good stuff. All of our power package, all this bit. When I was at the track, I did something dumb and went sideways in the very slick grass at 90 miles an hour for probably 300 or 400 yards. So ended up with a flat tire. Car 718 went back to the shop on a flatbed. Luckily, we had the lab rat there, and the day was not over. So we got to go play some more, which was fun. Let's see what else we got. This is kind of fun. One of our friends, yeah, it'll buff out. Yeah, no lie. Jimmy Rock has a GT2 RS with our Ink and Hell Street. I'll come back to that, Mick. Or Michael. Mike. It's Mick PDX. It throws me off. My brain can't compute all this while I'm talking at the same time. I'm just a simple man. Can't multitask so good. So he's working on turn downs for it, and he sent me this picture, and I was like, oh Jesus, this is not going to end well for this car. But he's actually making them much shorter and going to put them in. So let me close this for a minute, and let me see if I can bring up I don't think I can bring up a track map of the ridge so quickly. So we'll leave that for a minute. The corner that I went off of, so for any of you who drive at the ridge, the ridge is our local racetrack, and there's a question on YouTube that I'll come back to. DCX Eternal, I'll come back to that. You go down the front straight, you take a little tiny left turn. It's not even really a full turn. It's a little bit of a turn, and that's turn one. Turn one, you're normally coming down from about 150 to 110 or so through that corner, at least in the lab rat, maybe 115. And then you reel the car down. There's another left. That's turn two. Then you've got a right that's off camber. That's turn three. And you've got a left that's turn four. And then you've got another kind of continuation of that is turn five. And then you're on the back straight. So what I did is Ted was trying to coach me driving the 718 GT4, and I am not an experienced mid-engine driver. So I was driving it as if the rear end was, or the majority of the weight was still behind me, as if I was in an RS. And even then, the line, I should have placed the car about a car width more away from the apex on 4, so that I can have five a little straighter getting onto the back straight and gain more time. I did not do that, and I started to lose the car a little bit to the right, started to run out of track because I early apexed 5. Caught it, overcorrected, as you tend to do when things are slippery and you're being told, push the gas, do this, do that. You know, Ted's telling me to do things over here. I reached, even though I'm an experienced track driver, there's a point in which your brain overfloweth, and then you do not really have a chance to do any more, right? You're just done. The right thing to do in that situation was to add some throttle, and I did not add throttle. I tried to reel the car back in, get it straightened out with just my hands and the steering input. And we ended up going off on the inside of the straight. I did catch it so that we were just kind of sliding, and we just kind of slid down the road. It was super cold that day, and everything was still wet, so you kind of slide for a while. It wasn't a big deal. I went out and clocked almost a 143 in the lab rat soon after that, so I was fine. I was a little shaken with the 718, but I'll get back on the horse and go again. We have a question here, tech question. Does the 991, 981 manual cars need PWIS dyno mode to run on a two-wheel drive dyno? 981, no, but you should. 991, I believe so. The Speedster for sure needs dyno mode. It'll go into limp mode otherwise. The Touring, I don't remember. Anthony, if he's listening to this, may remember. As a matter of course, we put all of our cars in dyno mode just to make sure that there aren't any hidden torque limiters or other things going on that can cause unforeseen influence while the car's on the dyno. If you have a PWIS and can do it, then yes, put it in rolling road mode. Rolling road mode is what it's called in PWIS. All right. Anybody else? GT4 needs a detail. It does indeed. 993 is a good crossover. I agree, but man, I'm just enamored by the look of that 964 RSR. Regular 964 is not so much. I need a tail. I need a big wing on a Porsche. It's just me. I'm weird. That's fine. The Touring looks great. Lots of great cars out there. But yeah, I need him to have a wing, honestly. So let's see. Anybody else? And Mike, don't worry, you won't go off on the ridge. You're fine. You're a rock star. I did have a lot of fun. One of my longtime track friends, Brian, was out there in his Miami Blue GT3 RS, and we were having a hoot because if you drive on track, you get this. It's not so much about being the fastest one out there. It's about having a few buddies to mix it up with. It's about being able to go out with some friends and mix it up on track, like trying, right? Not like letting off the gas and then mixing it up, but actually driving. He's tucking in right behind you. You're coming in for the first turn. It's just so fun. So fun. Look on Renlist. Renlist. There's another site. It's invitation only though. Switch Cars is another one. Brian's awesome, and we had a great time. He was telling me my car was pulling away from him, even though he was in the slipstream with my arrow on it. So that made my heart feel good that our power package actually really does work, regardless of all the internet soothsayers or competitors that want to blow shade at us, whatever. And we were just clipping along, throwing down 144s in traffic and having a ball. And I can't wait for this track season to continue doing it. It's a hoot. It's a hoot. It's why we do it. Do we recommend a Durametric or a PWIS clone for a DIY-er? Well, Durametric doesn't really work on a 991 unless they've changed some things. So PWIS for a home garage is a lot of tool. It's expensive. So if you can find one that's supported or a used one and you can get some training on how to use it, then I would try and get a PWIS. There's a lot of data in it, a lot of really good data in it for you to be able to pull off of. Like, for example, as opposed to just seeing what the code is, you can see all the... for 997. Durametric should be fine then. But 991, a PWIS, you can see all of the instances, the engine RPMs, the coolant temperature, the intake air temperature, all of these kinds of things. You bet, Joe. Hey, Gustavo's here. Gustavo is going to be helping us. The 981 has a base model. It is not really very well supported in the aftermarket. Gustavo has been patient and passionately addressing us, trying to get us to get him a set of intake runners for his 2.9 liter 981. And we just decided to say send it, and we cut him a good deal. He's going to do a little experiment, and he's going to bolt the the 3.4/3.8 liter intake runners to his 2.9 liter and have the car tuned and see what we get. We should see something. I don't know if it's going to be as big a jump as what we see on the 3.4 or 3.8, but you don't know until you try. And we don't have any 2.9 liter 981s out here. Jimmy Rock's asking, any plans to head east for track days? I am not planning. I really just want to get back to Hawaii, honestly, so I can go surfing. It's been, typically I'm there at least once a year, and I know this is like Crimea River crap, but bear with me. Haven't been there in almost 2 now, so need to get back, need to get wet, need to go say hello to the Hawaiian fishies. So Ted, we may send on a tour in the car, but likely that's going to be down to California. We've got a lot of folks down there, a lot of tracks down there to go drive. We want to go put some super sticky tires on the Lab Rat and set Ted loose at some tracks and see if we can't redefine some track records. Not that we would, be so brazen to believe that we could, but we believe that we could. Let's see. Somebody is asking me another question, and then I should think about wrapping this up. 45 minutes with y'all. We are up to 5 people on YouTube, so that's exciting. So most of you follow us on Instagram. We are trying to push people to our YouTube channel because we got a lot of really great content over there. At least we think it's great. But Maui, Mike, we have a stay in Lahaina. I surf at the Breakwall, occasionally down the road at Lahaina Luna, a couple other little spots. We like just walking the town, walking Front Street. We get there, don't even need to drive, just walk to dinner, walk around, go to the beach. It's just nice. Go drive up to Honolulu Bay and go snorkeling, go see some octopus, and go oogle at all of the badass surfers surfing Honolulu Bay, which I'm too old to probably ever get that good unless I can live there full time and just paddle out every day. But that's a whole nother thing. I don't do surfing because I'm good at it. I do it because it gets me out of my head and I love the ocean. So that's that. Probably the same reason we all drive on track or drive sports cars and all the rest. So somebody had a question that I am not prepared for. What is your favorite drift vehicle? Sounds horrible. I don't follow drifting so much, but I do know that Adam LZ is a drifter, and he has been doing and trying really hard. I also know that Mike Kojima is the crew chief for another drift team, so I follow them. I believe Mike's car is a V8 powered FRS, if I'm right. Maybe it's a 2JZ FRS. I don't remember, but Mike will probably remind me. Except I don't think Mike's on Instagram very often on live feeds. So we're working on it. We're going to keep going with YouTube. We're going to keep publishing content over there, and we'll keep trying to do the YouTube live stuff, and we'll start trying to do some more. We're working on some marketing-y type things. So those of you who wanted to be insiders that want to kind of know what's going on, we're going to try and start doing some invite only and have kind of like a opened up Zoom meeting. You guys can just ask questions. We can pick a topic for the evening, like we're just sitting in the bar shooting the crap together, which could be fun. Probably not every week like we do Whiskey Friday, which is a little bit more open, undefined. Maybe once a month, once a quarter, get together, talk to our GT3 RS guys that have the Aero package or are interested in the Aero package, talk to our 718 GT4 guys who are looking to tune it. What's next? Do I do suspension? Do I do brakes? Do I do aero? Do I do power? How do I make it more, right? And just open that up. No pressure. No, we try not to sell you anything on any of these things. We just try and add a little bit to the community. That's all. Naturally aspirated Clink 1. So Just spray painted. Hot pink. That's awesome. I'm sure Granny loves that. So, all right, y'all. I think it's about time for me to sign off. I've been talking so much I didn't drink so much, which is fine because I've got a car to drive home. I'm going to hand this to Anthony and let him finish it. All right, y'all. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend. Stay out of trouble. Don't go to any protests. And whatever you do, don't buy shares of any stocks that are overly shorted and cause a large financial institution or institutional investor to get short squeezed and start to pitch a fit. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you guys next week. Good night.